Hello everyone, Zoa Rose here. Welcome back to my channel. So, I am originally from New York City, and even though I've been on this side of the Atlantic for over 20 years, there are certain things about me that will never change. For example, I will always walk at the pace of Roadrunner, which you have to do in New York City because you don't walk quickly and with purpose and determination. Those muggers out there practicing their alternative economic activity, they're casing the streets, looking for the next target. They're going to light on that slow-moving space cadet and go, oh yeah, that one. Whereas here, people have a tendency to move at a much more leisurely pace, taking in the scenery, la-di-da, maybe they've got their arms linked, blocking the sidewalk entirely. And then here I come at breakneck speed, and it is like hitting a brick wall. So I've developed the habit of weaving in and out of this pedestrian traffic. And I find that people will kind of just step aside and let me go, thinking, oh yeah, crazy person. And ironically, if I would be watching myself objectively, weaving in and out of traffic, I would probably also say, yeah, crazy person. But for all my breakneck pace, I am extremely careful. Whereas here, no one ever pays attention to where they're going. You've got pedestrians crossing the bike path, absorbed in their phones, headphones on. You've got cyclists shooting out side streets, barreling around corners. It's as if they're expecting everyone else to be watching out for them to make sure that they don't get hurt. You know, we call that in New York City roadkill. And what is with this proliferation of personal transport vehicles? I mean, you've got Segways rolling down the sidewalks. You've got these electronic foot scooters zipping along. You've got now self-balancing unicycles and hoverboards with no seats, no handlebars, no discernible way to steer or stop this vehicle. And my question is, why are these people not dead yet? Roadkill. Now, another thing you will never find a New Yorker doing, she will never leave her purse on her seat when she stands up to perform. You know what we call that? Crime victim. But other cultural differences will show, for example, on the trains. Now, I will get on a train, take a seat by myself, usually put my bag down next to me so no one will sit there. Of course, if somebody comes along and asks if the seat is free, I will move my bag and they sit down. However, in Germany, got on the train, sat down, put my bag down next to me, and I'm looking out the window, absorbed in the scenery, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see this rather substantial derriere angling its way in at me at an alarming pace, and before I can snatch my bag off the seat, she had sat down right on top of it, and then turned to me and said, "You should have expected me to sit there." Now there's accountability for you. But Germans hate to be asked to move. And for the most part, they will just kind of voluntarily move out of your way if they need to. However, occasionally you'll be trying to get onto the tram or a train and you'll be faced with this large, immovable person, usually with a backpack, taking up the depth of two people, and you can't get past them. So you just say politely, "Excuse me, can I get past?" At which point they will just kind of ignore you and grunt. And if you persist in doing what you think is the polite thing and just saying, "Excuse me, can I please get past you onto the tram?" they will finally turn to you and say, "You are so impolite." Turns out, they don't actually mind being pushed out of the way. Now, you push a New Yorker out of the way, yeah, they're going to take whatever weapon they're carrying and kill you with it. Now, other kind of difficulties for me on the trams or train show up, not so much because of cultural differences, but because of my rather petite stature. So, if I get on a tram or a train and I'm on the aisle seat and then it gets very crowded, everybody's packed in around, if I turn my head outward, I'm invariably going to be directly at eye level with some guy's crotch. And I see that he's looking down at me, and I look up at him, and he's going, oh yeah, she wants me. But the same thing happens with women. Now, I will be sitting across a table from other women, and I'm pretty much right at chest level. And I'm looking at these voluminous orbs, thinking, shouldn't I have those too? I mean, I have to go to the kitty department for a trainer bra. And why do they call them trainer bras? Do they really think it's going to encourage those little rosebuds to blossom forth? But all the while that I'm sitting there thinking, I wish I were more like that, the women are thinking, oh yeah, she wants me. But in general, Americans have a tendency to be much nicer than Europeans. And the fact is that it's because it's hard to live in the United States. There's no safety net. You can't pay the rent. There's no agency to go to help you out with that. You're just out on your derriere. So we tend to be much more compassionate and kinder towards each other, supportive, encouraging. Whereas here, where life is so much easier, you're all mean. Now what is up with that? Of course, there is the added dimension that in the United States, you kind of have to be nice to everybody around you because you have no idea if the person that you're interacting with is packing heat. Anyway, thanks for listening. This is LL Rose.